Hi everybody, welcome to the Mom series, The Misunderstanding of Multiplicity. My name is Maria. If you're joining me on my channel, welcome. And you're welcome to subscribe and hang out and get to know me. And I get to know you. And that's what's cool about having a YouTube channel. Okay, so I normally talk about multiple personality, which is what the label used to be called, the disorder, the experience. Used to be called multiple personality. Now it's called DID, dissociative identity disorder. The name was changed, but not much about the condition other than instead of calling other aspects, parts, or pieces, or egos of one's personality, instead of calling them personalities, they are now called ego states. And it is thought that one is in a dissociative state when another uh, identity takes over functioning. So that's the difference between the names in a nutshell. And I usually talk about how it's depicted in the media. I don't want to do that today. I want to talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I feel like everyone needs a lot of cleansing breaths. Some of us might need a big bowl of fruit and calming tea, and I don't know. It's just uh, I'm glad the jury's getting a break, but I'm scared about the jury getting a break too, because I don't think it's possible for a jury to stay um, unvarnished, I guess is the word I want, for that long. With this being so much in the news, especially after Amber Heard just gave her testimony and they're leaving on such a sour, dramatic, crazy note. I want people to remember that Dr. Shannon Curry said, which was the forensic psychologist for Johnny Depp, said that after spending time with Amber, testing her and going through all the notes, all the doctor notes and everything, she came up with a diagnosis of borderline personality and histrionic personality. Um, she explained this by saying people with this give a lot of added detail around an event leading up to. They build. They use words like gorgeous, magical, extravagant. They use big words to describe stuff. Amber was doing this during part one of her testimony and again part two, like the teeter-totter up and down relationship, describing kind of the honeymoon cycle of domestic violence. I'm not monetized, so I can say the word. Um, so what's been in question is that just about everybody that knows Amber Heard, except for her friends that were there with her, are saying there was no evidence of Amber having any facial bruises, lacerations, bloody lip, broken nose. There was none of this. There was no messed up house. The police were there, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, they have all that to think about, but now Amber has described these events. And as many of us that were watching were waiting for Amber to finally cry, to show some emotion, to shed one tear, to have a genuine emotion. What I kept thinking about is method acting. Is it possible to get on a witness stand and act the way Amber did? Yes. Yes, it is. If you remember Johnny's testimony, when he met Amber for Jump Diary, Bruce had already met her and auditioned her 5, 6 times. And Bruce, who took over the project for Thomas, knew what character they had in mind. And he said, Johnny, you have to meet with Amber because I just don't know. And Johnny said, there's no need to put her through another audition. Um, we could just meet, talk, and I'll know. And he said that was the woman that when he met her, he thought this was who Thomas had in mind, and that this was definitely a woman that could kill him, which is, I don't want to give away the movie. So, he realized right away that the one thing he needed to kind of like gently get across to Amber was that she was overacting. She was overreaching for emotions and overdoing, uh, overworking a scene. And so he talked to her about how she had to really work on stillness, quote unquote stillness. And in an acting method, stillness is required so that people can pause, so that they can actually just be mindful and pause and ground themselves and use nature and something in the room and a focal point and feel their body and experience their breathing and be still in order to react genuinely and not overreact. Okay, so one of the things that people use is their breath to do stillness to build up to a point of, um, I want to say like a climatic scene or where they really have to dig deep in method acting. You're using your breathing to almost bring you into a state of going there and into that moment and being there and being able to then build to where you're going to break down and cry. And that is exactly what I saw Amber doing on the stand. I think it's important to say I've always been an advocate for women. I am a survivor. I am also a victim. I want to talk about that a little bit. Um, when I say I'm a survivor and I'm also a victim, it's because so many times we, uh, communities that have gone through abuse or grown up with our parents abusing each other and then fell into that same kind of relationship with uh, our significant others. Um, we do go through honeymoon cycles. We do what Amber is talking about, what Johnny's talking about. We do that. It's almost like we are drawn to that same pattern that's very normal. But what isn't normal is there are moments of revelatory moments of life and death where if you have the financial resources, if you have the transportation, if you have your body intact and no children, you can just leave. So I want to say very quickly that um, many of the women that I know and men too that end up in domestic violent relationships really do kind of weirdly stay for the kids. And that's the worst thing you could do because your kids are like, just please leave. But there are financial burdens. There's disgrace in a family, not wanting to get a divorce. There's all kinds of things. Blame, shame, believing you can do it differently. All that happens. So in the honeymoon cycle, um, each person is promising, and then you can also notice when a person is elevating. So I heard a lot of that in Amber's testimony is that she was kind of wanting everything to be okay, but she was looking for when Johnny was going to be either using drugs or alcohol, which would always make him kind of go to that violent place with her, or if he was commenting on what she was wearing or whatever. But none of her testimony fleshes out for me. It just doesn't. I can't relate to it, and I can relate to a lot of abuse stories, but not this one because if if I was praying one day that I wasn't being raped with a broken bottle, and then hung around to hope that maybe that wouldn't happen again, nothing was right about that story. That was the big dramatic moment, and nothing was right about that. One if something like that happens to you, you can't walk. You have to seek help. Two, again, I'm going to say before I get off track, um, there we all in survivor communities kind of um, pride ourselves on saying, I'm a survivor, I'm on the other side of it now, I'm thriving. And most days we are, but then we're not. And so I think there's a real ebb and a flow to the victim mentality versus I feel like a victim again. That this is happening all over when you get triggered. And so when we get triggered by something, we can't say that we're survivors or thriving in that moment because we're still reacting to that trauma. So I just want to state that there's this big pull to be a survivor, and on most days we're between victim, survivor, victim, survivor, victim, survivor, and that is just what PTSD really does. And having lived through traumatic events. Okay, so I'm all over the board today, so I just wanted to quickly say about bruises. Amber Heard's stylist, who has been styling her since, I believe, 2012, was her personal stylist when she was on the James Corden show and saw her with no makeup on and bare lips, no bloody lip, no swelling of the face, nothing. And she applied makeup to a bare face. They actually washed um, she washed, I hope they call her. There was nothing. There were no black eyes. There was no broken nose. And you cannot put ice on a swollen nose, lip, and eyes, even 4 days after. You can't make a bruise go away. Um, just, I'm just gonna go put some ice on it and wing it. No. Um, Most women that are abused to that degree would have to wear sunglasses, and that's the only way you could cover the kind of black eyes you would get from a broken nose or a punch right to an eye, which or her nose, which is what she's stating. Sorry, the nose. Um, Also, bruises change colors. I've heard a lot of people talk about, well, her bruise was here, but now it's here, but it's over here, now it's over here, now it's here. Bruises, not only as they heal, change color, they tend to get worse and grow. So they get bigger on your face. I know because I've had them. And I watched my mom have them, and I know many of people that have had them. And once you have gotten beaten up, you just kind of got to isolate until it heals. And bruises on your face just don't heal like that. They just don't. There are no miraculous healings for that. There aren't, and there's no makeup that can cover it. It would just make it worse. You cannot cover swelling or lacerations. What you can do with the kind of makeup that Elaine, her uh, um, lawyer, is saying that she used a corrector compact the whole time that Milani put out, which they never put out in 2017. What you can do is create bruises and create lacerations and create a swollen lip. For God's sake, she could have bitten her lip, but she didn't have a swollen lip. You go look at the James Corden TV show that night. Not only did she she was fully made up with red lipstick, but she was doing a lot of promotional um, photos where she's squinting her eyes, she's smiling big, she's doing all this and that and winking. She's doing all these facial contortions. Go look at the pictures. And if your eye, your nose, your mouth, your head, she claimed to have these bruises in her head and lacerations. There was no pus, there was no nothing. It was in dark lighting that she took the pictures. I am somebody that always was trained to believe children, to believe women, and to believe, to believe, to believe. I cannot believe this. And this is the problem with Me Too. I truly, if you look at the timeline of when Amber Heard started to go off into this, giving speeches and showing up at marches, and she really embraced the Time's Up and the Me Too and rah, 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 we need to stand up, women, and her PSA. When she really jumped into this was right after she left Johnny. Um, she tried to say that the op-ed that the article was not about Johnny, so he doesn't have a defamation case. But then it's turned out that the producers or the editor is saying, well, yes, she did talk to the columnist and tell them that it was about Johnny, but to keep Johnny's name out of it, la 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 la. But dot 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 dot, like Johnny would say. And I wanted to say too, I know a lot of people are like in Johnny's camp or in Amber's camp. That's it. I think they were both toxic. I agree with the marriage counselor. I think they treated each other horribly. I think they had the best of intentions, but they brought out the worst in each other. I think when drugs and alcohol are on the scene, the amount of drugs, the quantity, the amount of money that they had to play with, um, no good. Um, I don't believe the bottle rape scene. I don't believe the what's the other one I didn't believe? I don't believe the nose, the punching the nose. I don't believe the grabbing her. Um I don't believe um there's so many things I don't believe. And I'm not somebody that is a Johnny fan. And what I mean by this is I don't get starstruck. I've said this before. Maybe one person, a little bit, and that would be Prince Rogers Nelson. And what really blows me away about all of this is um, Amber's birthday, this defining moment of that, oh my God, Johnny just was late for my 30th birthday. And all my friends and I were at Coachella and we were dropping magic mushrooms and drinking $500 wine and smoking and doing, MMDA. Um, but, um, that was what she stayed for that. But none of it's washing with me. None of it. If if somebody had done that to me, I would have probably killed them in their sleep. No, there is no love for that. Um, and you wouldn't be able to walk, and you wouldn't be able to wear normal clothes, and you wouldn't be able to. No, nothing rang true. It was over the top. So I'm going back to what Dr. Shannon Curry said. I don't believe much of what Dr. Dawn Hughes said because I think she was paid by the defense to say what. I think they were both a little biased, but Dr. Shannon Curry was more credible. What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, I so badly wanted DNA on the hair that they showed the pictures of because I really think it was dog hair. Um, I wish we could have gotten DNA or some kind of genetic something on the poop because that is not dog poop. Um, their dogs are small little dogs. Dogs don't do that. They do little turds. They don't do human feces like that. And she admitted it was a practical joke that went really wrong. Um, why did Johnny paint in blood? I think he really was at a breaking point there. Um, So many people I've talked to in the survivor community who were like, you have that one defining clarity moment when if you stay with this person any longer, they're going to kill you. It's either you or them. And either you're going to kill them or they're going to kill you. Um, and I can tell you if she was praying to God that it wasn't a broken bottle that he was raping her with, um, that would have been the end. Now, I'm not shaming, blaming, or judging because I know a lot of women stay and men do horrible things to them, and a lot of men stay and women do horrible things to them. I think they both abused each other, but I think that Amber was the aggressor, and I think that this jury is highly compromised, and um, because there is no possible way to not now that this testimony came out, because I noticed today CNN has not been covering this at all. Today CNN's been like, Amber Heard said this about Johnny. Amber Heard said this about Johnny. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, everybody is talking about it. I wish to God Jerry Judge, Johnny Depp's security was still alive and bodyguard, and I don't understand how his first partner, Vanessa Paradis, the mother of his children for 14 years, would never see this side of him. Winona Ryder never saw this side of him 4 years. Kate Moss never saw this side of him. So many people that he went out with never saw this side of him. I feel like Amber needs to fit into a something group like Me Too, Time's Up, or LGBTQ, and she just can't find her place, and she keeps inserting herself into somewhere. I do believe she's borderline. I do believe she's histrionic. And I think there's a lot more going on there than just that. I think if anybody really followed her, they'd probably find that she has some schizoaffective stuff going on, but that's not for me to say or decide. But I hope she gets some help. Um, and I just really feel the need to say that I don't get starstruck by people. I mean, if Prince dropped down from heaven right now, I'd be, yeah, I would be. I'd be like, give me some music. Tell me, tell me all the secrets of the universe, something, right? Um, and no disrespect to Johnny Depp or Amber Heard. I've never seen Amber Heard in one movie or even a model shoot. Nothing. The last time I saw Johnny Depp in any movie was Edward Scissorhands, and I think I watched it because I was a big Winona Ryder fan. And it's not that I don't like Johnny; it's just that the type of movies that he's done, even The Chocolate Factory, and even I've never seen a pirate movie. I am the kind of person that if I've seen a person in one role as a character, I can't forget it. In other words, when Meryl Streep first came out and was in Kramer versus Kramer, she was always that woman to me. I don't care how many accents she has. I don't care how much weight you lose or how much weight you gain. When I saw it just I've never been able to Julia Roberts when she was in Pretty Woman, and Richard Gere was in Pretty Woman with her. I couldn't see them together in The Runaway. I think it was The Runaway Bride or whatever. Like I couldn't see them in any movie together again because I still think of them as that character. So what I watch more of is TV instead of movies. I might do a sequel, but I wouldn't keep going back for like a trilogy. I never did Harry Potter movies. I think when it got to Star Wars 2, I was done with it. Later, I had a boyfriend that talked me into doing a marathon of Star Wars, and it was like, okay, that's cool, but Aliens, I did end up seeing 1, 2, and 3 and the Resurrection and all that when it came out on TV, but um, I'm just not a sequel person unless it's a TV show. Like right now, if Everybody Hates Chris came out and did a reunion or a reboot or something, I'd be watching it. If the Golden Girls had ever done a reboot or whatever, I'd be watching it. If All in the Family, Friends ever got back together. There used to be this show called 30 Something, which I think is real relatable now for millennials. I would really love to see where they are now. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, because I get used to characters that are in um, TV shows, not not movies. So I don't follow movies as much. I'll watch a good movie, but I don't become starstruck like, oh, and I don't think we should worship people. I don't think they want to be worshipped. So at the end of the day, for me, people are just people and with frailties and with pasts and with traumas and with behaviors they're not proud of. And I just pray that these two can come to some conflict resolution some way. Um, and money isn't going to do that. And I just really fear that the jury's not going to be able to come to a decision at this point and has really had enough. And um, maybe nobody will be rewarded money, or maybe they'll each be getting a split, but no decision will be made. Um, but I don't think Johnny's going to get justified in this. I don't think anyone is going to fully ever believe Amber. And that is the sad part. And it's sad for so many survivors. Again, I'm going to say it for so many survivors, thrivers, and whatever process you're in, and victims that really want to get justice, that will never get to court, that have talked to their lawyers, that have made their claim, um, who can't even talk about this on social media. I'm one of those people. I have a claim. I can't discuss my case. I can't do anything. I can't write about it on social media. If I like to write poetry. If I feel myself going that direction, I have to take a paper to pen because I cannot. Um, my lawyers have told me nothing on social media about my case. And it might be years. It could be 20 years. Could be 30 years. Could be, I might one day get an apology and that's it, like an official apology from um the case, and that is it. And even though my family and I have suffered so much, and I would hope there could be some compensation for secondary survivors like my children and family and just everything, um I would be happy with a apology. So it's just so hard to even get a case. um It's so hard to even go over that with a lawyer, to go over every detail and be interrogated and everything, which real victims have to do and have to prove. And there is no proof for Amber, and it's so manufactured, it's so scripted. And I apologize if, if Johnny was in a blackout and actually did these things, and I apologize to Amber Heard, but right now, I just don't believe you. And I believe you both were no good for each other. And that's all. Um, I'm tired of the whole thing. I'm exhausted from it, and I will now back away and go enjoy my week. I might drop into a few chat rooms that are talking about recaps or whatever. I feel like I really need a break from it, and a lot of people do. Um, yeah. I hope the weather gets good and we could just enjoy sunshine, no more tornadoes all over the world, and craziness, and wars, and rumors of wars, and nuclear weapons. And I mean, isn't there enough craziness in the world that we're all watching this and going, and what's going on? I just can't. I can't. No. As I've seen too many women with bruises. I've seen too many women recount their stories. I'm not saying that every woman is broken down in a mess all the time. I'm not saying that a person can't look okay on the outside and be struggling on the inside. We know they can be. We all do because we have to live. But when you are having to recount, um, I'm just saying a lot of acting went into that. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Take care, everybody, and have a beautiful break from all this and stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.